I am one of the webinar coordinators of the EMI and GE network, and today I am joined by Dr. Mehrasa Alizadeh from Osaka University. She completed her doctorate at Osaka University, and now she is an assistant professor at Osaka University. Mehrasa, could you please introduce yourself?
Hi, Mapube. Thanks for having me and for the brief introduction. My name is Mehrasa, and I'm from Iran. I did my PhD at Osaka University and got my degree from the Graduate School of Information Science and Technology. And currently, I'm working at the Cybermedia Center at the same university as an assistant professor. I came to Japan about 5 years and a half ago as a student first, and I've been working for about a year now.
Okay, thank you. Could you tell us a little bit about your PhD research?
Sure. So my PhD research here in Japan has got a bit of story to itself because when I first came to Osaka University, I was affiliated with a different graduate school as a research student, which is a special period, like special to Japanese universities it's like a transition period from a bachelor's to a graduate course. So I did 1 year and a half of research student only to find out that the graduate school I was planning to enter had very high requirements of Japanese. So I was kind of in a way forced to change my grad school to the Graduate School of Information Science and Technology, which ended up to be a good change, in fact. So yeah, I found it difficult in the beginning because I had my background in second language education, and I was moving to a totally different environment where people had their backgrounds in different areas within the broader area of computer science, and I was completely unfamiliar with what the rest of the people were doing. So at first it was a bit of a shock, but then I tried to use what I had within that new environment to the benefit of my own research. So luckily, I didn't have to change my research plan much when I made this move. I was originally planning to work on developing an online course for of English for general academic purposes, targeting Japanese university students here at Osaka University. And I was lucky enough to find out that my former supervisor was actually teaching one of those online, or better say, blended courses, partly online and partly face-to-face. And so through his help, I managed to within the broader context of a collaborative research to reform the syllabus for that course, also redesign and compile the materials and put together the course in a completely new format, which made better use of the kind of functions that we've got in the university learning management system. Here at Osaka University, we use Blackboard Learn as our LMS, and a lot of professors and instructors don't really use many of the functions that system allows you to, but I did my best to make use of a lot of them in my course. Plus, also, I had a bit of trial on using more newer technologies such as augmented reality in the course to get the students to do some group projects and create posters augmented with some, say, digital materials.
Yeah, that's great. And could you tell us about some of the results, particularly the important ones from your research?
Sure. So the research, as I may have mentioned already, had several stages because I was going to develop a whole new course and put together something quite new. I began with needs analysis. I was particularly looking into what the language needs of Japanese learners usually are, particularly within the context of university language education. And I found out that, well, as expected, a lot of them had issues with oral skills, meaning listening and speaking. And they occasionally had problems with conversational, and well, some of them reported having had issues with even conversational, and a lot of them with academic English. mostly because lots of classes here in Japan are not really aimed at improving your spoken skills, and a lot of them are focused completely or almost entirely on reading and writing, and the students don't really get much exposure to speaking and listening, and so obviously they really feel a lack of um, abilities in that area. So I decided, based on the results of that needs assessment, to focus on those two skills alongside reading and writing, which is definitely needed in academia. And
Right.
so the course was created in a way that it tried to integrate the four skills as much as possible within the context of online coursework and some face-to-face classes. And having done that, well, the course was finally also evaluated in terms of its design features using some like rubric that has been well put together by an association in the US. It's an international association aimed at improving the quality of online education called Quality Matters. That's the name of the association. And so through the university, I was able to get a subscription, like an institutional subscription to that association, so that we could ask for external reviewers to look at the course and try to give us feedback on what is needed in the form of a rubric with points. So the course met many of the standards of that rubric, but still failed to meet some. So within that whole period of 3 years, I managed to also revise the course after getting feedback from the external reviewers. There were students questionnaires as well. A lot of them found the course interesting, and they believed that it was very new to them. They had never experienced such a thing in the past, and that it helped them improve many of their skills. A lot of them liked the content of the course in terms of the readings or listenings that we had, because we tried to focus on newer topics that were more controversial, and like that could be food for thought for the students and could get them to think about it, to write about it, and respond to what they listened to and read in the form of essays or videos that they recorded and they had to send over. Of course, when it comes to technology, there are always problems and glitches that you have to come over. And in our case, because all the assignments and everything was online, many of the students found it sometimes difficult to upload their videos. A lot of them did not really have access to like a stable connection. Say like campus Wi-Fi was not good enough for them to upload a video of 500 megabytes or so. So that was one of the things that we were constantly struggling with throughout the process.
I see. At the moment, are you still associated with this course, or are you still part of the course?
I did my study in that course as a TA, although I was officially one of the, say, co-instructors of the course. But I'm not the one in charge of that course anymore. In fact, my former supervisor is still teaching this course with maybe one or two other professors working on the same course as well. So no, I'm not working on it anymore, but I wish this could be a little bit more sustainable, because right now the work that I'm doing is focused on within the broader area of education, but in a different area. Say right now what I'm doing is focused on using through like collaboration with a team of researchers, we're trying to use artificial intelligence in education and try to improve the learning systems that we already have on campus, or try to create new ones from scratch. So it is related to education, but not necessarily to language education or blended learning always, but still a very interesting and intriguing area for me. I've learned a lot since I started working last April.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. About your PhD or your current work, any other comments or anything you want to add, please? Go
Sure,
ahead.
thank you. Through the PhD course, I've got to also publish papers, present at lots of conferences, connect and network with lots of people. So that was one of the great experiences that I gained over the past 3 years, which was very rewarding. I've been constantly active with lots of language learning associations within Japan and overseas, and have attended a lot of conferences, presented at many of them. Also, as part of the requirements of our graduate school, we had to publish 2 to 3 papers or have conference like proceedings published. So that got me more motivated to also work on it. And once I found how interesting and how rewarding the experience is, I kept going on, and I'm still, as an academic, of course, interested and excited about doing research and publishing the results. So that's one of the things that I got to do more here in Japan. Although I used to also publish papers back in Iran, but here I think there's more chances, there are fewer barriers to do that.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.